Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Thursday, the 8th of April. Reading Psalm 13, we have David, the great king of Israel, coming before God in desperation. And Psalm begins, "How long, Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and day after day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me?" Now, he clearly wasn't feeling in a good space. He wasn't feeling victorious. He didn't feel like he was on top of things. He was under threat, and he felt it. And he was desperate, and he's crying out to God, "God, how long will you be quiet? How long must I keep waiting on you?" He then starts pleading, "Look on me and answer, Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death, and my enemy will say, I've overcome him, and my foes will rejoice." And saying, "God, I'm trusting in you. Please come and help me." And then he continues, "But I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise, for he has been good to me." And he's saying, in the midst of this, I trust in your love and my heart rejoices. Now, it doesn't say that his situation has turned around. It doesn't say that his enemies have been vanquished and all the threat he was experiencing is gone and everything is now fine. So as I read it, it seems to me he's still having a sense of God has forgotten me. He's still thinking God's face is hidden. These enemies are still there. I'm wrestling with my thought. I'm still struggling. But I will trust in God's unfailing love because I know that God has been good to me. I know what God has been like to me in the past. And therefore, I can trust in him, I can rejoice in him, and I can sing his praise. And sometimes we think that Christians shouldn't struggle. And certainly some years ago, there's this whole theology of the king's kid. If you're the king's kid, everything should go smoothly for you. You should get what you want, and God should only give you blessings. No, the scripture doesn't bear that out. You read of David in a situation like this. You read of what Paul went through as one of the king's kid, and the amount of times he was shipwrecked and beaten and arrested and harassed and chased from one town to another. The notion that Christians should only experience good things is not borne out by Scripture at all. But the challenge for us is when we are experiencing life as tough, when we are feeling cut off from God, when we don't feel close to God, when it feels like God, as David says, has hidden his face from us, we still remember what he's done in the past. I will sing of the Lord's praise, for he has been good to me. And you look at what God has done and say, God hasn't changed. My situation might have changed. I might have moved on. My life might be in a different place. But God is still the same. And therefore, as David says, I will trust in his unfailing love because it is. And I can rejoice in God's salvation because it is there. And so my prayer for you is that you will be experiencing good things and be in a good place and feel God close to you and be moved to praise and rejoice in God. But where that isn't the case, where there is a struggle, that you would know that's part of our life as Christians. It's David's experience, it is Paul's experience, it is Jesus' experience. But God is still with us, and we can still hold on to him, and we can still trust in him, and we know that we can rejoice because we are held and we are secure in him. So know that, be encouraged, and be blessed.